Okay, today what we're going to do is have a wee think about presets. What are presets? How do they work? How do you use them? What's the best way to think of presets? And how to create them? I think some people maybe get uh, bogged down with presets and maybe get a bit overwhelmed by them. A preset is pretty much like when you would save a document, or let's say you're doing a document, a Word document, and you save it. You come back to it, and the text is already there because you saved it. In a sense, that's what a preset is. We have all these sliders here, and a preset saves them to that position so that you can come back and apply those specific sliders at those positions on other images. So, for example, if I was to take this image here of a castle at sunset, and I move the slider back and forward, I can do that, and as I do that, I make changes to the photo. If I like that, then I can save the preset, which means that next time I have a photo like that, I can just apply the preset rather than having to adjust the sliders again. It's pretty much all it is. So I have some presets that I've saved over the last year or so, and I have bought presets before, and they've been you get maybe 50 or 60 of them, and you never use the half of them. I have about 30 here that seem to work well. So if I hover over the preset on the left hand side here, the user presets, it gives me a preview of what it will look like. Now if you look here, and the sliders haven't moved on the left hand side, but it gives me an idea of what it will look like. If I click on the preset, then the sliders move. You see that? Beforehand, the sliders were there. When I added the preset, the sliders moved. Okay, so when I hover over the preset, it gives me an idea of what it will look like. So there's these ones here. You see that some of them have a big difference, some of them don't have much difference. That one there makes a huge difference. I've come to find that generally one of these 30 or so presets that I have will give me a lot of what I want without me having to do much more after that. So you can see the difference the presets make, and all this is doing is just sliding the sliders in different places. Now for different images, it's going to make a huge difference, and so not every preset works on every image, but there's such a variety here that normally one will work. But as I do that, I look at see which one I think works best, and think of presets as doing the heavy lifting for you. Okay, so if you're clearing out your garage, it's full of junk in the garage, presets are like removing all the big boxes and all the bikes and the lawnmower and stuff like that. And all you have to do once you've done that is maybe sweep the floor from dust and pick up a few bits of dirt and stuff like that. So the presets do the heavy lifting for you, and after that, then you can go back and add, do the last wee tweaks to make the preset work. So in this one here, for example, Sunrise 2 that I have here looks quite good. Maybe the sky's a wee bit too intense. Or what was the other one? Castle? This is a castle. Castle maybe is a wee bit dark, but well, you know what? Since this is a castle, let's go with castle. If I want castle, I actually like the sky in the deep sunset one. So if I go to castle here and click on it, it does the heavy lifting for me, so that I can then just go and maybe raise the shadows a wee bit more, maybe increase the exposure, maybe go into the masks, for example. There is a sky mask there, and decrease the highlights a little bit, and do whatever I need to to the mask and all the bits and pieces to get the image I want. And that's how presets work. It's very, very simple. However, once you've made or once you've done adjustments here, so let's say I started from scratch. Let's go back to the start here. Go back to the start. Okay, there, we're back at the start. Let's say I've decreased the highlights a wee bit, increased the shadows, bring up the whites, bring down the blacks, whatever I'm doing, just bits and pieces here. Let's say I do these things to the image. If I want to save that, once I'm happy with what it looks like, I go across to my presets, Don't click on any. I'm just scrolling up here. There's a plus button here. Click on the plus button and go to create preset. And then you can give it a name. Sample preset. And what you have here is all the different bits that you've adjusted, you can save as the preset. So for example, if you, for example, transform, a lot of things you may have adjusted the, the horizon or something like that on the image. You don't want to do that for every single image, so you'd probably uncheck, at least I would uncheck the transform. Lens corrections, maybe they're probably going to be okay. The effects, post-op crop vignetting, you may want to keep that in, you may want to take it out. All the different bits and pieces here, I normally keep most of them on except for the transform. If you had masking on, do you want to keep the masking on? Because in some cases, yes, if you're doing the sky, perhaps subtle adjustments to the sky, but let's say you have a radial gradient or something like that, or color range or luminosity range in the mask, you're not going to want to select the masking for that because the color range somewhere else, or the radial gradient, let's say you had a radial gradient on someone's face. In another photo, the face could be in a different part of the image, and so the radial gradient will be in the wrong place. So sometimes you want to maybe just not check the masking. Sometimes I have, sometimes I haven't. But once you've done that, then you just click create, and there we go, that's the preset done. So there it is, it appears there, sample preset. So for example, if I go and back to the start and undo all those different bits that I did, and then I click sample preset, it brings it back to the way it was. That's the preset applied. Very simple. If and these are saved, so you can right click and you can show in Finder. This is on the Mac. I'm not sure what it's like in the PC. You can show in Finder and it will show you where that is, and you can then have a copy of that should you need it. So that's just a basic introduction to presets. They're not crazy, they're not mad. I wouldn't think that presets are going to get you all the way there, but they might get you about 80 or 90% of the way there, and that can be helpful. Hope you find this helpful. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. I'm not sure I know them, but I'll give it a go. Put them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.